Happy 2024, everyone. I got to tell you, I've been thinking a lot about 2023, and I'm sure you have. Thank goodness it's in the record books. But I got to tell you, there are a few things that pop into mind, and I'm hoping that you can give me your comments on some of the dribble, and crap that came out of the government officials' mouths in 2023. And I've got a few clips that I'd love to get your opinion on. And let's take a quick look.
I'll be blunt as well. Housing isn't a primary federal responsibility. It's not something that we have direct carriage of, but it is something that we can and must help with.
Wow. Okay. You know what? When he came out and said that at the very beginning, I thought, okay, there's no way this guy's going to say what he just said. And sure enough, you know what? He did. He turned around and said, hey, we're going to help. How about the fact that you created the problem for the lack of housing? You just left the gates wide open into Canada for the population to grow out of control without even thinking where everybody's going to live. You know what? It can't be that simple for this guy to miss this point, but clearly he did. And there's some other people in his caucus that actually have the same attitude.
Our government has been focused on housing since actually the first election I ran in, since my by-election in 2013. It was a major focus of our campaign in 2015, and it has been a focus every year since then.
Hang on for a second. So if it's their focus, does that actually mean that they're actually doing something about it? So then why are we sitting where we're doing? I mean, how many years in government do you need to say that you're focusing on something and yet nothing gets done? In fact, it's nothing but extrapolated the problem. Let's see what else he's got to say.
We need more housing, more collaboration with great partners across orders of government, more investment from private and nonprofit partners, and of course, more shovels in the ground.
Hang on for a second. I know that he shovels a lot of stuff, but for him to sit there and say that he wants more private partners, who's that? Is it some of the people that are in his pocket, perhaps? Or does it mean mom and pop, you and I, the people that are actually the ones who are playing landlord because he can't? Let's see what else he says.
People are using homes and houses as an investment vehicle, particularly corporations using homes as an investment vehicle, rather than families using them as a place to live, to grow their lives, to build equity for their future. We have been working with partners and will continue to work, including with the Minister of Housing and the Finance Minister, to create conditions in which housings can and should be owned by people who are living in them. And who want to build a strong future rather than corporations looking to improve their bottom lines.
Did he just say that you and I, private landlords, are the problem? And that's one of the things. That's been his kind of method throughout the entire year with all his, PR stunts, that he wants to blame the simple landlord out there for the problem that he created. On top of that, 1 minute he's talking out of one side of his mouth and then the other. So you're telling me the corporations. So is that the big apartment landlords? Well, guess what? Mom and dad aren't going to own those. Second of all, when we talk about things such as REITs, well, the taxation dollars that are going into the Canadian government on a regular basis, well, Mr. Trudeau, shoot yourself in the foot a few more times. So clearly, he still doesn't get it. Let's see the next one.
I'll be reversing the changes we made and won't make any changes to the Greenbelt in the future. Because even if you do something for the right reasons, with the best of intentions, it can still be wrong.
Wow. So we got not just federal, we got provincial. And, here's the problem, is that you just pissed off all the developers in Ontario, where we're saying we're having a housing crisis. And not only did you pull back the land you were going to give them to be able to develop, the developments that they were planning on working on, they pulled those back. Now, I get it. A lot of people are saying, hey, greedy developers, get them out of the area. I got it. But the thing is we still need them built. Who's going to build them? Well, nobody's going to build them right now, especially with all the governments going backwards. And in the same breath this year, they kept talking about numbers. 1.5 million, 5 million houses. We're going to build, we're going to build, we're going to build. Who's going to build them? And you know what? Here's the one last problem that we can't even get a straight answer from the Bank of Canada.
We're not taking further increases off the table. If we need to do them, we will. We haven't yet been discussing rate cuts. And I expect, what we will be discussing is more, how long do we need to stay, how long do rates need to stay elevated?
Well, you know what? That's pretty funny because that was just done a couple weeks ago. And Tiff Macklem, head of the Bank of Canada, he's sitting there still playing, possum. And, hey, we don't want to get anybody excited. We're not going to reduce the rates. There is no way that he's able to turn around and put more pressure on it. But he wants to keep you nervous, on the edge of your seat. That's been 2023, I think. If we could sum it up. And hey, by the way, I would love your comments. Tell me, what do you think of 2023 when we had to deal with the federal government, provincial government, municipalities, Bank of Canada, all the crap that we had to go through? And yes, I'm focused on real estate with this because this is what this show does. And when we take a look at the political aspect of it, you got the Bank of Canada sitting there saying, well, we're not sure we're going to reduce rates. Yeah, but here's the thing. The U.S. Fed's already told you how much they're reducing. Everybody's baked into the Bank of Canada dropping the rates sometime in the spring. You know what? Get off your horse. How many times do you have to lie to us? And, maybe they just feel that they can because they have. It started 18 months ago. Why not finish off the year with a bunch of crap as they typically do? So listen, you know what? If you want to follow me, that'd be great. You can subscribe. On top of that, hey, if there's some videos you've got from the government that you picked up on and you'd love us to have a play on, please, send it through and let me know. What do you think of the Bank of Canada, the federal government, and the provincial government, and what's happening in the world of real estate? Thanks for tuning in.